up in Harlem. Gotta go to Brooklyn now. I had to straighten my front end out. You know, if you ever have a problem with your front end not straightening out on a bike, you gotta have to take care of that steering stem bolt on top. I tried and tried and tried straightening it out just by doing the bounce method, but no matter what I did, it just didn't work. But now it's perfectly straight. And then the problem is when you start loosening up the forks, I was loosening the top and the middle and trying everything I could to get everything right, but no matter what, I just couldn't do it. And then the fork tube started coming up, you know, out of the triple tree because I had too loose. It just wasn't a good idea, the whole thing. But once I loosened the steering stem bolt on the top, everything fell into place nicely. I was able to straighten the wheel out, but it took a lot of effort. It wasn't a simple process. Now I'm trying to see if I'm going to pull over and see how my headlight's doing, because I repointed it just to see if it was set up too high or low or whatever. I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, I guess it's all right. Seems to be pointing at the road now. That's a high beam. Yeah. Yeah, now the front end feels perfect, actually. And every bump I hit, it's not bouncing. What was happening was, every time I would do the bounce method to straighten it out, I would get it kind of right, but, you know, I'd use my knees to point it, the front wheel, and I'll pull over and I'll do a demonstration, because if you have trouble with forks not straightening out, I gotta fix my dash light too, because my dash light's out of service. Well, anyway, I'll just jump over here, jump on the sidewalk and show you guys. It took me a while to fucking learn this shit. I mean, if you ever have a situation where you can't get your fork right, and you do the first of all, you loosen up the bolts on here, and only the bottom bolt of this top one. But you might want to loosen the top one a little bit, but you're going to have to make sure your fork tubes don't push up, because if they push up past here, past the top of your triple T, then you're going to have to you're going to have to push them down again. You know, that's the only bad thing. But basically, you loosen everything up and you do the bounce method. I mean, everybody knows this, but I figured I'll just tell it from the beginning. So then, if you still can't get it straight, you put your knees, you straddle this wheel and try to pull the bars till it's straight. I did that, but every time I would hit a bump or whatever, or jump off a curb, it would go right back again to being cockeyed. So if that happens, you got to get like a Tusk steering wrench if you want, because otherwise you're going to need a 30 millimeter think it's a 30 millimeter to get this off, and you'll have to take your bars off. But if you get a tusk wrench, everything's good to go. With the flat wrench that you get, like the easy access wrench, and then you can bounce on it and see, and then use your legs to straddle the front wheel and then pull it straight. But you want to bounce it in the opposite direction of, like you got to really pull a lot, but you got to go extra, because if it's out of whack and the triple tree on the top is out, when you loosen the steering stem bolt, you've got to hit it hard enough that you can get it straight again. Because if you just hit it till it's straight exactly, then it might just come back out on you. I'm just checking my brakes out and stuff. So I guess you got to go a little bit past where you want it to be, and then bounce on it. And then if you bounce on it and it stays where it needs to be, then you're good. But if you bounce on it and it goes right back again to being crooked, then you're gonna have to push further past the point where it wasn't straight from. It's a trial and error, I mean, you might try it and then find out that it's fucked up. You might go too far in the wrong direction. But normally, if your forks are out of whack, you've got to get the triple tree bolt. You're going to have to remove the steering stem bolt. I mean, not remove it, loosen it. The top bolt on here, you might have to loosen that to get it straight, because I could not get it straight with the bounce method, and I've always been able to do that. Like, I got like in a low speed drop accident on the KLR, and the front wheel went out on me, and I just went ahead and did the bounce, loosened up the fork tube bolts, and then did the bounce method. Everything was fine. But if it doesn't, like this bike, it took too much of a shot. It happened on Amsterdam Avenue, and it was a nasty shock to it. Like the way that it hit the ground, it just it pushed the triple tree out of whack. But you're gonna find, like, if you have a situation like that, it really takes quite a while to get it right if the bounce method doesn't work. Because fork tubes, when you loosen up the fork tubes, when you bounce the bike, it just automatically it falls into place. It straightens itself out. That's why you want to bounce on the front end to get the tubes to get all straightened out. You got to loosen up your axle bolt and your axle stay bolts, and all that stuff. You loosen the whole front wheel, and then do your bouncing, and it'll almost always fall into place nicely. But when it doesn't, you've got something else going on, and you're gonna have to fuck with it some more. It's not gonna be an easy 1, 2, 3. It's gonna be more involved, and that's what I noticed, because I was just fucking with this thing, trying to get it right, and it was just every time I'd hit like a big pothole or something, it would just go right back to being skewed again, and I knew something was up. So I knew that I was going to have to loosen my steering stem bolt, because I've had that, I've known about that, I just never had to do it. Ooh, yeah, there you go, nice big pothole. yeah, it's definitely straight. I'll take my usual route, 2nd Avenue.